All right, good morning, traders. Today is December 18th. Wow, the year has gone by fast. All right, so my name is John Carignan. I am, or Coach Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Appreciate everybody that follows my content, likes my content, subscribes to my content. Appreciate that. Special shout out John Jordan, Bob Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Roasted, anybody that shares the content. Love that. Appreciate that. Helps the community grow. Appreciate that a lot. I love that. All right, let's take a look at the markets today. Got a few announcements before I get started. Today, member e-learning on Thursday, the 18th, starts at noon. All right, you're going to get a 1-hour presentation from each of us. You got about a 1-hour presentation, so you're going to get about 55 minutes from Doug, 55 minutes from me, 55 minutes from Rick Sadler. So that starts at noon, and that is in the combo room. That is available for members. All right, so if this is your first time being here, how to get there, you would go over to your home page. Well, actually, you go over to your member page. All right, so we'll go over to the member page. Oh, become a member. So if you want to find them, all right, they're right here under resources. Let me start this one more time. Get logged in. And I can help you. Okay, you come up here to the members page. All right, and you come over here, right here. Combo room, that's where you log in. Put your credentials in, you can get logged in right there on the member page. All right, if you want to look for the videos afterwards, they're in the resources. You'll find them under e-learning replays right here. Okay, and if you click that up, come down to the bottom, there's about 10 videos on each page, and we have 33 pages of videos. That's 330 videos right there. We also have another page of videos from the public e-learning. That's right here. Again, you go to resources, come down, public e-learning, and you can see there's 10 more pages, 10 more on each page here. And we have 20 pages of those. So that's 20 of those. So that makes another 200 videos, okay? So lots of educational content for the members right there, all right? Again, you go to your members page, all right? Come down, we'll be in the combo room. I'll be in there from noon till 3, listening to everybody and following along, okay? So combined e-learning room, all right, today at noon. All right, let's take this down and let's take a look at the holiday hours. Okay, the rooms will probably be open. It says trading rooms are closed. They'll probably be open, but we won't be in there, all right? So there won't be anybody to lead or moderate, okay? So that starts on New Year's Eve all the way till Friday, the day after Christmas, and then, of course, Saturday and Sunday. So we'll see you guys all on Monday. Again, on New Year's Eve all the way to the 2nd of the new year, and then again on, of course, on Saturday and Sunday. So we'll see you back on Monday there as well. All right, so my SPY pivot this morning is 675. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. SLV made a new all-time high yesterday. IWM made an equal high and a lower low, closing below a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. SPY, lower low, lower high, closing under a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. Diamond Dow, lower low, lower high, closing under a bullish trap but over the 17 EMA. QQQ and FNGU made outside days, closing under bearish traps and under their 17 EMAs. SPY closed with a 2-hour downtrend, 10-minute downtrend. Gold made a higher high and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 USO in a daily downtrend. Made a higher low and a higher high, closing inside a bearish trap under the 17. UNG also in a daily downtrend, made a higher low and a higher high, closing inside a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. US dollar index still in a downtrend. We like that. Closed near 98.38. SPY max pain for today, 678 with a put to call ratio of about 1 put for each call that expires today at 4:15. Those index options expire at 4:15, while security options expire at 4. If this is your first time here, okay, all of these are in daily uptrends over the 17 EMA. All of these over here under the bears column are in daily downtrends under the 17 EMA. If this one has a star, it's building out a bull flag or a launch pad from which to launch higher. No guarantees that it launches higher. It's just building out a launch pad. If they're over here and they have a star next to it, they're building out a platform, all right, from which to dive lower, okay? So building out a platform or a bear flag from which to dive lower. So we'll see what happens, okay? Today we got CPI at 8:30. Should get volatile. We'll see what happens. They've done doing rate cuts for the year, so this will probably be setting us up for the new year. So let's go take a look at the markets. Let's take a look at some charts. Here's SPY. I'm going to move this out of the way, move this off the chart there. Go to the 10-minute chart, and let's see what we got here. 10-minute chart right here on SPY. So you can see right here, the yellow 3 EMA is underneath the 8. So we had a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. Okay, 10-minute downtrend coming into the close yesterday. Okay, so what did we trade? We traded yesterday the 10-minute downtrend. That's our preferred trade, the 10-minute chart. Okay, you can see on the 10-minute, you got the PPO right here. See how it rips underneath the 9 EMA? That's all opportunity right there. So again, 10-minute downtrend under VWAP. VWAP is the brown line right there. So you get the candlesticks under the 3 under the 8, with the candlesticks riding underneath them, and they're both pointed down. You want to be in puts or short the market because the market's moving from high to a lower number. All right, so there's that's what we traded yesterday. That's how I made the majority of my profits. All right, so there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. Take a look at the 2-hour chart. All right, 2-hour chart. We have the candlesticks under the 3. That's the yellow line. All right, we've got candlesticks in the 3 underneath the white line. That's the 8. Okay, so we have a 2-hour. You can see they're both pointed down. Okay, so we have a 2-hour downtrend coming into the close yesterday. On the daily chart, we've got a lower high and a lower low. Let me make sure that's right. High 681.08, high 6, yeah, lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17 EMA, still at the top of quadrant 4. Okay, so that's bullish, and it's still in an uptrend. Okay, it's just not moving up. Okay, it's still bullish. Here's our April low. Okay, top of quadrant 4, still bullish and in an uptrend. Nothing's broken yet. Okay, on the weekly chart, okay, we're still up here at the top of quadrant 4, still bullish and in an uptrend on the weekly and on the monthly. All right, again, still bullish and in an uptrend right there. See all the green dots? Okay, on the weekly chart, see all the green dots? Okay, still bullish, still in an uptrend. Okay, so that's SPY. Let's take a look at the game plan. We'll look at that on the 15-minute chart. Zoom in here. Yeah, let me move some stuff around just a little bit. Let's move this over, slide that over there, move this down, this up. Okay, so game plan for today. Okay, my pivot, 675. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Okay, so that's a pivot, 675. Green erases red entry over 680.10. Okay, so right over the top of the bodies of those 3 candles right there. Okay, from the day before. Okay, green erases red entry right up there. Red erases green entry underneath that big red candle right there. That's underneath 671.20. I suspect we'll probably have an inside day. We'll see. We're going to get CPI at in about 20 minutes, so that will probably rock and roll the markets. All right, so there's 15 minutes. I like 1 day till expiration and 8 days till expiration, Friday options on the multiple of 5 specifically for the open interest. Higher open interest equals most of the time tighter bid-ask spread and of course more liquidity. All right, and that's what I like. All right, I like it specifically for the higher liquidity in there. All right, so I trade strikes $2 to $15 out of the money. They tend to have a price point that's closer to zero. For me, the mentality is it's less risk. I'm only risking less than 10% in my account anyways. But for me, I tend to have the mentality that is less risk. Now, of course, if you put more contracts on, you're not really going to have less risk. But I like it because it's closer to zero. But I also like it because it has the ability to double and triple my money when I get in at a low price point. All right, I trade 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I trade 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. If a 10-minute downtrend happens to manifest up here, okay, long before it gets to the red erases green entry, I'm not opposed to trading it as long as it breaks bearish 10-minute rubber band candle. Same with uptrends. If a 10-minute uptrend happens to manifest here or here, long before the green erases red entry, I'm not opposed to trading it as long as it breaks the bullish 10-minute rubber band candle. All right, so that's my game plan for today. All right, well, let's take a look at the pre-market. Oh, actually, let's go over QQQ. QQQ's got a game plan as well. Green erases red over 613.50. Pivot 606.15. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Red erases green underneath 625. Okay, so again, same thing. I trade strikes 1 to 8 days till expiration on Friday. All right, options with the multiple of 5 on the multiple of 5 specifically for the higher open interest and the liquidity. I trade strikes $2 to $15 out of the money. Okay, now I'm not opposed to trading in the money options. Okay, you're gonna get more. You're gonna get better performance than I will with my out of the money options. Okay, but you will have more risk, and it will tie up more of your buying power. All right, because it's going to cost you more to have in the money. Options tend to cost more, upwards of $2 and $3 per share. All right, so for that reason, I choose the out of the money options. They tend to be less, to me, they tend to be closer to zero, so they tend to be less risky, and they tend to be cost a whole lot less. Again, I trade 10-minute uptrends over VWAP, 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. Okay, for QQQ on the 10-minute chart, let's pick this up on clean chart. Okay, 10-minute downtrend. Okay, all day yesterday coming into the close. 2 hour, same deal. 2 hour downtrend. 3 underneath the 8, 8 underneath the 17. Everything pointed down. 2 hour downtrend coming into the close. Daily chart. Okay, got a 3 EMA pointed down, 8 EMA pointed down. So what did we get yesterday? Let's take a look. I think we got an outside day. High is 613.51. High is 613.65. Outside day. So that's a higher high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap under the falling 17. Okay, so we're under the all-time high anchored VWAP. We're still in the middle of quadrant 4. So that's bullish up there. All right. And we haven't broken anything, so we're still in an uptrend. Here's the problem. We're just not moving up. All right. Right there on QQQ. Weekly chart, still in an uptrend. Top of quadrant 4, bullish and in an uptrend. See all the green dots. Okay, so monthly, see all the green dots. Bullish, still in an uptrend there on QQQ. All right, let's take a look at the pre-market. I'm going to go back to SPY. And let's talk about how we're going to trade this morning. Start with the 10-minute chart, and let's pick up this one here with the 10-minute. Okay, so we got consolidation over prior consolidation. Okay, right here, over all of this. Okay, so that's a bullish bias. But, you know, if they lose this, it's not the same. Okay, all right, so for me, I would be looking for, okay, that's a bullish bias, consolidation over prior consolidation. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay, so I'd be looking for a breakout. Okay, right here, over the top of pre-market price action right here. Okay, a breakout for me equals a buy. Okay, I want to buy the breakout. Okay, same thing down here. If we get a breakdown, after we get the gap fill, we start closing candles down here. I'll look for breakdown to the downside. Okay, so there's our channel. It's a pretty wide channel, so I'm going to mark off the first 15 minutes of trading and probably trade the breakout from the first 15 minutes. Remember, 7:30, things should get volatile. 8:30, things should get volatile. Okay, so that's how I'm going to trade SPY this morning. Okay, if we get up over this, my target, my first target will be this all-time high. No, actually, this breakup candle low, anchored VWAP, which is located right here at 679.10. Okay, that's going to be my first target right up there, 679.10. Okay, if we have a breakout to the upside. All right, we'll see what happens. All right, let's take a look at QQQ, IWM. Look at that on the daily chart. We'll look at that on the daily chart. Okay, today's price action. All right, this is the 18th. Now I want this one. There it is. Okay, so high yesterday was 652.16. High the day before, 652.16. So equal highs, lower low, closing under a bearish trap. Under, see the green dots, under the 17 EMA. Okay, but over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, still in the middle of quadrant 4. So that's bullish and in an uptrend right there. Okay, still nothing's broken yet on the daily chart. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Okay, Diamond Dow got a lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap. Under a bullish trap, but over the rising 17 and over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Top of quadrant 4, that's still bullish. Top of quadrant 4. Here's our April low. And in an uptrend right there on Diamond Dow. Okay, FNGU. Okay, got a outside day. It's a higher high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under the major support, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. No longer in the upper third, so it's neutral. Okay, it's neutral. And in a downtrend, there's a low, there's a low. They made lower lows, so neutral and in a downtrend, FNGU, on the daily chart. All right, let's take a look at silver. Silver made a new all-time high, so that is bullish, top of quadrant 4. Okay, here's where the rally originates. Okay, top of quadrant 4, and in an uptrend right there. Gold made a higher low and a higher high. Okay, right up here. Closing over a bullish trap over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the purple line. Top of quadrant 4, that's bullish. Here's where it originates, down here, back in 2022. And in an uptrend right there for gold. Okay, let's take a look at UNG. Okay, UNG got a higher low and a higher high. Closing in a bearish trap under the falling 17, under the 2025 high anchored VWAP. Okay, at the bottom of quadrant 1, That's bearish. There's a low, made a lower low, and in a downtrend. USO. USO, higher low, higher high, closing in a bearish trap under the 17, under the 2022 high anchored VWAP. That's a pink line. Okay, so we were in the lower third. We were bearish, not yesterday, but the day before. Today we're back to neutral because we're no longer in the lower third. Okay, so there's USO daily chart. Okay, there's a low, there's a lower low. It's a downtrend, so neutral and in a downtrend. Okay, let's take a look at technicals. T2101. Market moved down yesterday. Breadth moved lower, so less participation as the market went down yesterday. I kind of like that because you certainly don't want to see people pile on when the market's moving down, giving me an indication that sentiment is more to the upside instead, okay, because we didn't have a piling on, all right, with the pullback that we had yesterday. That's T2101. T2122, okay, so you can see right here, this would be yesterday's price action. We came out of the seller's chop zone, made a brief appearance in the buy zone. For the most of the part of the day, we made a higher high and a higher low, and we spent most of the day in the buyer's chop zone. That's bullish, coming from this low up to this high right up here. That's bullish, and then an uptrend right there. So on T2122, T2123, still moving up, and look at the hold of the higher ground. We're still in an uptrend. We haven't made any lower lows, so we're still bullish and still in an uptrend right there. Let me see if they made a low. Okay, there's a low. There's a low here, and then they made a one candle. So they're technically they're in a downtrend because they got a low and they made a lower low. So it's in a downtrend, but all in all, it's moving over to the right. So downtrend on T2123. You got that couple candle bars underneath the 17 here. Okay, so you got some lows here and got some lower lows. Okay, so in a downtrend, but not moving down. Okay, moving over to the right. Over the 200 SMA, that's bullish for me. That's where I want to be if I want to be a bull. That's where I want the price action. Okay, T2123 over the 200. I love that. Okay, over the third line. All right, right there. That's the green line. Don't want to break the third. If we break below the green line, this will be neutral territory up here. We're bullish on the daily time frame. So there's 15-minute chart, bullish, and in a downtrend that's not moving down, it's moving over to the right. And I like the rest, okay? I like the rest a lot, right, like that. That's T2123. Here's the 3-bar chart, okay? Here's the April low. Okay, here's the September high. Here's the pullback, right back to the neckline of a prior head and shoulders pattern in the upper third. Right there, see that green line represents the upper third. So we're up here, so we're bullish. Okay, we got a high here. And we made a higher high and in an uptrend, and we're over the neckline. We're over the 200 SMA, the flat 200. So we're bullish and in an uptrend on the 3-bar chart for T2123. FNGU kind of stinking up the joint. All right, here's FNGU. Yesterday, 15-minute downtrend. You can see price makes lows, makes lower lows. We're under the rolling over 200 SMA. That's bearish. We're underneath the major support. That's also bearish unless, of course, the bulls can rescue the price action. And we're under the all-time high anchored VWAP, okay? Things falling apart. We got a low. We got a lower low. We're definitely in a downtrend on FNGU. All right, let's take a look at the economic calendar and dollar. We're off with the dollar. Dollar in a big bear flag, move down. Here's the 2025 high down here. Then a bear flag over to consolidate over to the right. Yesterday's candle is this green one where we finished right up here, right about 98.34 right there. Okay, you can see we made a double top, so we failed to make a significant higher high. There's the low between the two peaks. We made a lower low, so that puts us in a downtrend. We made a lower high and another lower low, so we're in a downtrend within the bear flag. Hopefully we get down here to the bottom. Okay, so there's the U.S. dollar index. Earnings report. Micron reported last night. This morning we're going to get Accenture. It's going to report 179 billion. Again, all of these reporting today. Mostly all familiar names. Nothing that's going to move the markets. All right. Not like a Nvidia or a Broadcom or something like that. Okay, so just not enough market cap there. Okay, but some familiar names: Darden Restaurants, we've all heard of them. All right, and FedEx, we've heard of them. Okay, and Cintas Uniforms, Nike Corporation, we've heard of them. That's retail. Okay, some familiar names, but nothing here that's going to move the markets. All right, on the tomorrow, okay, more familiar names. Again, nothing here that's going to move the markets. On the Max Pain for today, Max Pain is 678. All right, and we have a put to call ratio of about 1 put for each call. So the put squeeze is not really on the table there. And 678, so that would be a move higher, much higher. That would be $3 higher since we're right at about 674, 675 right now. So that represents a $3 pop if they want to go after Max Pain, if there's enough options for them to go after that. We'll see what happens. Okay, on the economic calendar, CPI comes out in 3 minutes. Thank you, anybody that shares that. Alan, appreciate that. Just telling you ahead of time. CPI, 8:30 today. Jobless claims, 8:30 as well. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, 8:30 as well. We got current account coming out at 8:30. Not sure what that's about. E-commerce retail sales, delayed report. So obviously not some Black Friday news. Okay, that comes out at 10. Leading indicators also at 10, and a gas report, natural gas that is, at 10:30. Okay, tomorrow we got personal income and outlays at 10. We've got corporate profits at 8:30. Existing home sales at 10. Consumer sentiment at 10. I don't know how they can do corporate profits when you got a lot of these people back here on the earnings calendar that don't even have their P&L ready. So how can you do corporate profits when a majority of them can't get their stuff out on time? So just saying, I mean, how do you do corporate profits without any data? All right. I mean, you're going to just do it off the data from everybody that does report. It's kind of incomplete, but it is what it is. All right. So that's it for me. I'll see everybody in about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and we'll open up the market, see what we can do to make some profits this morning. Again, okay, I'm looking for CPI, possible breakout. All right, we'll see what happens here. Let's get the SPY up there. It's about to shake loose pretty soon. Here's SPY. And 5 minute. Okay, let's get the PPO up there. Okay, PPO already getting juiced up. So obviously they think it's going to be good right there. Okay, so there's a big rip. Clear up to, well, 677.30. So looks like 678 is going to be a target. We'll see what happens here. That's it. I'll see you guys in about 30, 45 minutes. That's a breakout. If they close that candle up there. All right. So if they close this candle up here, that's a breakout. I want to trade that to the upside. All right, traders, that's it for me. I'll see you guys in about 45 minutes and we'll open up the markets.